With The Boys Season 4 dropping, I decided to do some rewatching to get me back in the swing of this diabolical show. I revisited all of the show's greatest hits. I rewatched the show's iconic opening, my favorite scene in the show, this.
Don't die with them.
But the thing that stood out to me the most was Season 1 Homelander. There was just something about him that was entirely different from the Homelander we get in Seasons 2 and 3. And I couldn't put it into words at first, but I knew that Season 1 Homelander just hit different. In the first season, he was genuinely frightening. Every time his name was just simply mentioned on screen, you felt the fear that the characters felt. I'm serious, if you want to talk about aura, Season 1 Homelander has to be at the top of the list. When he's flying around at Mach speed, scanning everything with his X-ray vision, looking for translucent, and the boys are just like, we're screwed, like what do we do? It was such a terrifying sequence because here's a guy who can see through nearly anything, can kill at a glance, and is literally everywhere at once, and he's hunting you. Homelander. That man was scary, unpredictable, and most importantly, mysterious. Every scene he was in just dripped with tension because you had no idea what he was capable of. And this is what makes Season 1 Homelander so special. We hadn't had our Wizard of Oz moment yet and hadn't peeked behind the curtains to see who Homelander truly is. You cut to 3 seasons later and now we're fully aware of what he's capable of. And while he's still a fantastic villain and carries the entire weight of the show, he just doesn't have that same fear factor anymore. There's no more fear of the unknown. We know Homelander is essentially a man-child, and while he may be the strongest person alive in the Boys universe, he's weak. I feel once the show stopped playing Homelander straight in Season 2 and showed us who he truly is, this facade and fear we had about him just completely disappeared. And I don't want to go as far to say the more unhinged Homelander gets, the more he loses his polish. Like I said, Homelander still carries the show on his back and is played brilliantly by Anthony Starr. And if The Boys never gave us this peek behind the curtain of who Homelander really is, we would never have gotten scenes like this. I'd be lying if I said watching his descent into madness and chaos wasn't cool to watch unfold, but it's a different kind of cool. Season 1 Homelander was terrifying. Throughout Season 1, Stillwell was thought to be Homelander's kryptonite and the one thing he actually cared about. In the Season 1 finale, when Butcher holds Stillwell hostage, we are led to believe that Butcher finally has the upper hand on Homelander and can finally pull one over on this monster. And we couldn't have been more wrong about that. Homelander literally and figuratively laughs in Butcher's face, then looked Stillwell right in the eyes and burned a hole through the head of the only person we were led to believe he actually cared about. Your heart just ached for Butcher after all that he'd been through, and to come this far just to fail so miserably. And this magic is just something we never get from Homelander in any of the other seasons. Yesterday it was revealed that Season 5 would be the final season of The Boys, and to me that was the best possible news we could have received. I'm never happy when one of my favorite shows announces that it's wrapping up for its final season. I'm always frustrated because I love them so much and want them to go on forever, except in this case. I'll admit the show is getting slightly repetitive. The Boys and Homelander will square off just to do it all over again the next season. Essentially, no harm, no foul. It's starting to feel like there aren't any real stakes. None of the boys have died, and really all of the main characters are still alive. But the thing about Homelander in Season 1 was that you had no idea what the trajectory of the show was, and again, who he truly was. The first episode of the show makes him out to be the best hero on the entire planet and the best of all of us. And then you get such a subversion of expectations at the end of the episode. But now we know who he is, and he's not scary anymore. At least not in the same way. But by putting an expiration date on the show is what it desperately needed. With an end date in sight, we don't have to worry about 4 more seasons of Homelander and Butcher just for them to both walk away at the end. So with only 2 seasons left, I hope Homelander can recapture some of this magic and mysteriousness that he had in the first season. I can't stress enough how great of a character and villain Homelander is. I feel like honestly more people know who Homelander is than are familiar with The Boys as a show itself. That's how good he is. And the fact that Anthony Starr hasn't won anything for his performance as Homelander yet is unbelievable.
You people should be thanking Christ that I am who and what I am because you need me. You need me to save you.
But I'll rest my case in saying that Season 1 Homelander will never be topped.